Good morning, everyone. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Amanda Stevens. I've been a member of Westminster for a few years, and I'm a recently installed deacon. I actually think one of my very first Zoom calls right at the beginning of Shelter in Place was when our deacon class was inducted online. Very strange times, but still our wonderful, comforting Westminster Presbyterian Church. I want to talk to you today about Westminster, community, stewardship, and what it all means to me. A few beginning notes on my personal history to start to explain why I give of my time, energy, and financially to Westminster. I was raised in Wisconsin and Texas, areas of the country where faith membership, whether Methodist, Episcopal, Catholic, Jewish, was just how life was structured and organized back then. As an example, my junior high social life went back and forth between Friday night youth group, bingo nights after CCCD at one of my friends' Catholic churches, Jewish high holidays at another friend's grandparents' house. I could continue. Religious and spiritual life was just woven into the fabric of life in a way that I didn't find or truthfully really search out as a young adult when I first moved to California. I sporadically tried a few churches when newly married to my husband, Bart Stevens, and with my children, Ava and Beckett, when they were young. But it wasn't until I found and started attending Westminster that I found the same feeling I had growing up in Wisconsin and Texas. I admit that it's a struggle sometimes to balance it all with sports and teens who want to sleep in and busy life commitments. But having a spiritual home and anchor is very important to me as a guiding principle in our high-achieving, success-oriented, worldly modern times. And yet in my early days at Westminster, I'll be honest, it was initially just about me and the peace and wisdom I got weekly from Rob and Bethany's sermons. The peace of mind I got from others teaching and leading my children spiritually. I was more fair weather, used to attend church and just duck out after I got my very worthwhile and necessary fill. But as my children got older, and I started thinking about how and where I wanted to spend more of my free time, a quote a college friend told me came back to me. American entrepreneur and motivational speaker Roy Cohn once said, "You're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with." It prompted me to think critically about how to intentionally plan on where I was spending free time and energy, who I would be surrounding myself with. Did they share the same foundational values of faith and service? About that time, I joined the board of Joyful Heart Foundation, which was founded in 2004 by Law & Order SVU actress Mariska Hargitay to combat the epidemic of sexual assault, domestic violence, and child abuse in our country. But Joyful Heart's a national organization, and it was not the day-to-day service or community I was searching for. Of course, Westminster was always right here. And I had reached a point where I didn't want to just show up at church for 1 hour a week. So I began getting more involved by helping monthly with the Voyager Carmel burrito dinners that Carol Kaufman organizes, going to Wednesday morning Bible studies, where I really enjoyed spending time with other generations that I didn't often interact with. And I eventually answered the call to become a deacon. I've really, really enjoyed getting to know the new deacons and elders in our 2020 class. Church members I would before only see from afar on Sundays. The nearness and simplicity of connecting and caring with them, being on prayer chain and learning more about the struggles and joys of more of our congregation. It's all pulled me more outside of myself and makes me think of what the recently departed Ruth Bader Ginsburg counseled. To do something outside yourself, something to repair tears in your community, something to make life a little better for people less fortunate than you. That, she says, that's what I think a meaningful life is, living not for oneself, but as one's community. Her words echo to me exactly what we're called to do as Christians. In Galatians 6:2, it says, "Carry each other's burdens, and in this way you will fulfill the law of Christ." So today, I invite you to think of some similar things as you look at your group memberships, who and what values you're aligning yourself with, where your energy and resources are flowing, how you're being supported, especially during turbulent, unsettling 2020. What will be your anchor? I hope Westminster is at the top of your list, ahead of exercise groups, clubs, social groups. Of course, Westminster covers those also. And how will you build and care for that community? I hope you will all join me in sharing your time, energy, and financial resources to care for and steward this giving anchor of a community we all share in Westminster Presbyterian Church. So please fill out those stewardship cards or go online at wpctiburon.org. And thank you for listening to me. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your Sunday.